My name is Pamela Ryan with PJR Consulting, and I want to welcome you to PJR Career Stages Question of the Day. Over the years, I've learned that when people embark on their career search, their job search, building a resume or a LinkedIn profile, they become overwhelmed with questions. And these are questions that I deal with on a daily basis. So I launched this channel in the hopes to help people navigate this journey. Give them a place where they can go to find answers to these questions. So each video response is in one video, and each response is based on research and experience from my clients and my extensive network. I do have an ask for you, and that ask is after reviewing a video, if it triggers you to need a different perspective or have a question, if you could please message me. You can message me, in the links to message me are in the job description below. You can message me on my website or any of my social media sites. That would be really great. The other thing is could you please subscribe and hit notify? And that will also let me know that the channel works for you. The other thing is if you are aware of someone who could leverage the content, please share it with them. One of the hardest things is awareness, or people having awareness to different tools that can help them. And you can pay it forward. Thanks. Okay, so the question of today is, who is your client? I inserted this question for one main reason, is a lot of people, when they write their resume, they think about the job and the qualifications, and very often one of the things gets overlooked is who is the client and who are we really trying to address with a resume. So I'd like to take a minute and let's explore that, of who we are looking at, who's our client with the resume. Many people I work with are either leading RFPs, RFIs, captures, or are part of a proposal team. So you have some knowledge, but the first thing you always do is make sure you understand what are the challenges, what are you trying to respond to, and who the client is, right? A resume is no different. So when you're doing this, we need to identify who your client is, all of your clients, and what are they looking for. So we need to figure out sometimes is how can we gather that information in a fast way so we can kind of put it together, and then we can turn around and write your resume to answer that. So I go back to a couple of the other videos I've written. A couple of the other videos, I've asked you to make sure you capture what is that next career step. Just in a phrase, but make sure you have that written down first. The second thing we want to do is who is the client we're going to be writing this for. So a resume is really written for that hiring team, the people who are actually going to be reviewing your resume and deciding whether or not to bring you in for an interview. Okay? So who needs to see your career package? It's going to be recruiters, executive search, human resources, the hiring team for whatever role you're targeting. It could also be experts for the hiring team. A lot of times now also it's cross-functional people who you'd also be working with, or cross-functional leadership could also be part of that hiring team. Then depending on the level of the position, it could also be executive leadership. It could be, all the way up to the CEO, CTO, COO, CMO. So we need to consider that as well. Are they part of your hiring team? And then so just so you know, I do interviewing sometimes to make sure that I understand what my clients are going through, so that I can improve. So one of the things I want to make sure that we also do is, on some of these roles, I've interviewed with clients, potential client, or clients that were part for the company. So they would have been the client I was responsible for had I gotten the job, or or partners that may also be part of that, or third-party suppliers, depending on what you're doing. So there is a possibility that they would also be part of the leadership hiring. So we may want to also consider that. So now today, the hiring team can be quite extensive. Now let's also look at one other thing in kind of a different perspective. And it's kind of the first line of defense is the ATS systems, or the application tracking systems. They're the computer. I mean, that's really, in many situations, if you apply online, that's the first read. So you don't want to forget that your resume needs to be read and understood by a computer so it can be promoted through to that client list that we just discussed. So there are things with the application tracking systems that are different that could, if your resume is not written to support them, it could be rejected. Yes, we live in the digital age. Yes, it makes your resume very pretty when you incorporate all of that. However, we need to be able to write the resume for the system, that the least system. You can't write your resume for the best systems or the most high-tech systems if the application tracking system you're writing for is 30 years old, okay? So we need to be able to make sure that the system you're writing for can actually understand your resume. So that's something very important. So for example, those really cool icons that kind of give a little flair to your resume, they could actually cause your resume to be rejected. That's just one example, okay? So the resume needs to be able to be seen by a diverse set of clients, and in order to get you promoted through, to get you the interview you deserve. So we need to be able to prepare your content for those clients, which means we need to have a good list of what the hiring team would be looking for. So how do we get that? I mean, the hiring team, when they prepare the list of what they're looking for, they kind of get together. You know, if they're external contractors, they meet with the hiring team and the company, and they give them a list of what they're looking for. I mean, they go through it, they talk about it, etc. And they prepare it. So you have to kind of think about, what do you have that can kind of help you? And one of the key criteria you have is the job description. Now today, I think job descriptions get a little bit of a bad rap. Everybody's like, oh, well, that's old information. Well, maybe. So right now, this is my opinion, but I do think it works, and I think it's proven through some of my clients. So I'm just gonna share it with you, and of course, everything is, you know, how you want to do it. And the big thing is my recommendation is that you take 2 or 3 job descriptions for the position you are interested in applying for. If you haven't looked at a job description recently, I recommend you do it. Just put the video on pause and go look at a job description. There's really 2 parts to it. The first part really defines what the job is, the roles and responsibilities of what you'd be doing if you got the job. That's a question for you. Do you want that job? Or are you more interested in another job? The second part of the job description really speaks to qualifications. So it could be termed qualifications, it could be termed preferred qualifications, it could be termed, if you get this job, this is what you need to bring to the table, which really means qualifications. Across the 2 to 3 jobs that you're doing, I'm going to recommend you collect the qualifications only, not the job duties and responsibilities, but just the qualifications only. I'm also going to recommend that you create a unique list of qualifications. So for example, if one of the jobs says, you have 3 job descriptions, and one says you require 10 years experience, one says 7 years experience, and one says 15, you keep 15. I am not a person who believes you need multiple resumes or a different resume for each job you apply for. I am that person who believes you only need one. So the unique list of qualifications is going to help us do that, because now we have to write to meet those qualifications, that unique list, which means if you're meeting the highest, most strictest qualifications, you're meeting all the jobs are good. You're meeting the qualifications for all the jobs. Okay, so if you build that, I also recommend your summary describe your ability to do those qualifications for the job you're applying for. Your work experience is always going to provide the accomplishments for your background or your experience or what you did. That's never going to change. It's always going to be the same, and it's always going to demonstrate your ability to do that. What's missing is a place that actually talks to your ability to do the job, so that when the clients are coming in and they're scanning your resume to see if you can do the job, they have to figure it out. But if you kind of highlight it for them in the summary of your ability to meet the qualifications, you then summarized your ability to do that role, and then your work experience is the support or the detailed support for your ability to do the role. So, in a nutshell, we want to make it very easy for the clients to find what they're looking for and get you promoted to the interview you deserve, or get you the interview that you deserve. So I just want to thank you for your time. And if this is helping, please hit subscribe and, and like for the video. And please share the videos to people who you think they might be helpful for. Thank you and have a great day.